Friends, hello, thank you so much for clicking on the video to listen to me yap here about the stock market. While the rest of YouTube in the world is talking about Nvidia, and they should be, that everyone's buying it and it's going crazy, it's controlling the whole market and everyone should be buying it, and you should. I'm just going to throw it out there. It's crazy, but I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about some other stocks here, probably that no one else is talking about, but and they definitely probably will never ever be big as Nvidia, but hey, they'll do something here, we're hoping, this year. So obviously, I'll start with DWAC here. I'm talking about this daily at this point, so, but I think it's really fun because there's a lot going on in the market. The market is crazy right now. We're going to watch a reaction video here in a moment, but to what analysts are saying. You know, the thing right now we're seeing with this market is all these top analysts, all these people. I mean, like, I have people that I follow. I have some guys that are day traders that I follow, like on TikTok, that don't even have YouTube channels. They don't care anything about this. But they're just people that have been in the market for like 20 years or more. And we're all saying the same thing. You know, I'm following along here, but, you know, everyone's saying, all these top, economic people, economists, stockbrokers that do this for a living, for companies, everyone is expecting a huge pullback here, and we're just not getting it. Tech was out of control this week, and when we saw sell-off here, Monday, Tuesday, and even yesterday, we thought that was like it, and now it's just now with Nvidia coming out here with their earnings, and people are saying it's going to go to 1500 now, and AI is about to go again. Here we go. And it's just kind of moving the market. It's controlling the S&P. It's controlling NASDAQ. When is there going to be a pullback in the market this year? Or is the market just going to continue to rally and have a sell-off day, a minor sell-off day, and just continue to run? It's just no one has any. If somebody is saying they know, they obviously don't know, and they're just lying to you, because we have not seen this before with how this market is reacting, and this is an election year, so we are expecting a pull off here. We are. I am still holding on to money. I'm probably going to be holding on to some money here until the end of March and maybe the mid of April. I am going to wait until all the way at the end of March before I really buy into some other stocks that I'm wanting to get into with some bigger positions. Because if we get through March into April, then the rest of the year will probably be growing. It'll just be slowly growing until we get to, October, November. Then who knows what's going to happen there. And that's going to decide the next, 4 years of how this market's going to run. So we don't know. We just don't know. But more than likely, we'll continue to see the same push here with AI just leading the pack here for a while. It's going to. You can't stop it. So, talking about DWAC, here we go. I think we found the bottom here. I think we found the bottom. It made it this week. It did not get too drowned out with the market falling apart here. I think the lowest we hit here in the past 5 trading days, even going into last week, which had a few sloppy days in it, we stayed above this $41, $42 mark. And I've been kind of preaching this here lately that, I think the 30s are just gone. I don't know that they're coming back anytime soon, because March here, obviously, we're going to be talking about the deal being finalized with Digital World and True Social, going, being, the real thing. It's happened at that point. It's done. The deal's done. And the question is, will that mean that we're going to see a huge spike once again into Digital World becoming True Social? And more than likely, we're going to see a big push. Now, is that going to be stay in a double-digit zone, or is it going to go into a triple-digit zone? I don't know. I don't know at this point. And I say I don't know because I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to come on here and show you a candlestick chart and be like, well, if we hit, volume here and then it could shoot it right here, and I would be lying to you. I'd be lying to you. But what I can tell you is that watching this stock since it's been announced with Digital World and True Social is that we've seen it go almost to $100 just off the premise of when it was first announced, before any of the pushbacks, before any of the court hearings with Trump. This thing shot up to almost $100 within an hour. I mean, I remember watching it in my house and I was like, holy smokes, what is going on here? And people were buying this at like $90, $80 when it happened. And, and then it fell apart. Then it came out that the deal was going to be delayed. And of course, it just got ripped to shreds in the general media, and that's when we saw it fall down to a $13, $14, $15 zone for over a year. And here we are now. It looks like the deal is finally happening. So to wrap up what I'm trying to say about Digital World acquisition, the 30s may be gone, the 40s may be gone by March. We could definitely be trading this at $50, $60 when this deal is closer to happening here in the mid-March zone. Now, obviously, this is still a risky situation because the deal has not happened. And there's not a lot of good news with Trump when it comes to the general media. And I say that because there's just not. But the good news about that is that as the general media talks so many bad things about Trump, the general public doesn't seem to care, and it just hypes up the Trump train even more. So we're not seeing Digital World take losses off of bad news with Trump. I mean, there's bad articles all the time. I mean, even this stuff going on in New York, it did not affect Digital World acquisition one bit. So it's surviving. It's surviving. So with that road right there, I feel very comfortable. My only concern at this point is that as I've been in this for over a year now, is that I just want the deal to happen. I just want to see the deal happen. As an active investor in it, I just will feel so much better when I know the deal has happened. When the deal does happen, I'm not going to lie, if this were to get out of control, and this is the big question everyone's been asking me, when to sell out of this. And I'm just going to say this is not what I'm telling you to do. This is in no way, shape, form me telling you do what you want to do. You're your own investor. You're a big boy, big girl. I'm just letting you know where I'm kind of at mentally with this thing. If this turns into a triple-digit stock going into the week of the deal is actually happening, it looks like it's going to happen, day of deal, say this thing is in a triple-digit zone, I would more than likely sell out. I would sell out of this thing fast, because more than likely what is going to happen after the deal is signed, there will be a low, there will be a sell-off, there will be a, okay, the deal's done, and there will be a sell-off, and people will be taking profits. Do not kid yourself about that. People will be taking cash, and they should. That, when there's money to be made, do it. Be greedy. That is what drives people into wealth. That's just what it is. But I would be back. Because I think there's going to be a few more rounds this year. So, A of all, deal happening. That's the big one. Will we be in triple digits? We possibly could be. We possibly could be in triple digits by March. It's a big if. We'll see here. Going closer to November, we're not there yet. I don't know. We could be, triple digits then. Who knows? But first, the main thing that's got to happen is this deal has got to happen. It's got to happen. I think once you see True Social on here, that is really going to drive up more hype around the stock. And listen, this is going to be kind of my Wolf of Wall Street preaching, message here. And I don't mean this to sound mean. I don't mean this to sound, like cutthroat or like I don't care about True Social. But I do want to say this. Right now, with me as an investor, I don't care about True Social. I don't care about their finances. I don't care about what they're going to do 10 years from now. I don't care. What I care about is the hype train that we're watching right now around it, to where there's a big play in session here. And I think that's where a lot of people are right now. I don't want people to get fooled by this, and this is why I'm saying all this. When there is money to be made with this stock, you really have to think about where you want to be with it, because I know a lot of you have a lot of money wrapped up in it, and a lot of people have said, I'm going to keep this thing for the next 5 years. That's great. But I do want to reassure people, this could get out of hand if the deal were to happen, and that taking profit does not mean you've lost. It does not mean anything bad, because there will be a big push, and then like anything else we've ever watched on the market, there will be a big fall. And then there will be a strike up again. And we're going to see the stock be very volatile this year. It's going to be very volatile. We're expecting that. I don't want that to sound harsh. And for me, it took me a long time to get to be like that as an investor. But I think that's one of the things you have to do, is kind of detach yourself from situations like this. Do I want True Social to work? Do I like the platform? Sure, absolutely. Yeah, great. But it's a very young company. I'm not expecting them to bring out amazing quarterlies anytime soon. That's why people like yell at me on here for that. Like, you're not even going over the balance sheet. They're not even making that much money. They're debt here, this, that. Yeah, I know. I don't care. That's not even what I'm talking about right now. And I can't talk about that every video because people will get bored, and I try not to. But I just want to throw that out there. Like, yeah, I don't care about True Social right now in the regard of 5 years from now. What I care about is the general plays we're watching at hand. My first concern here is that the deal happens in March. So I just want to make that known. So with my little speech there, I know that sounded cutthroat, but I just want to put that out there. The stock is holding this $40 range. Now, of course, me saying that, it'll probably go to $35 tomorrow. But if it does, hey, I'm sure a lot of people will be buying more of it. It likes this mid-40 range. I like it at this mid-40 range. This is very... If I know a lot of you are just trading this on a day-to-day basis, and you're making quite a bit of money. I mean, if you're looking for a day-in weekly trade, I mean, my God, what more can you ask for? You're talking about a stock that's going from $42 to $45 to $44 to 48. I mean, when you're buying thousands of dollars worth of shares, only like a 1, 2, 3 punch in a day, you're walking away with quite a bit of pocket change here with some trades. So, man, congratulations on people who are taking those victories. So, friends, one more thing here. I thought we could all watch this video here with, talking about these big people in the market, these hedge fund people, people that watch the market professionally, and see their reaction, because this is a very interesting time. I don't know if everyone is obsessed with the stock market like I am. I'm sure a lot of you are, but this is a very interesting time to be alive and be an investor, and I just find it fascinating. So let's watch this together.
Over that time period as well, but those have started to tick back up recently too, and yet here we are at record highs for the S&P and the Dow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, but I think those yields that are ticking back up will work with a little bit of a lag, and clearly they're going up at a lot slower pace than they came down. So I think that really is the key, though. I think those rates will filter higher as we talk more and more about, whether rates should stay where they are, whether rates should be hiked, as opposed to whether rates should be cut aggressively. And I think that's where the disappointment lies in the coming months.
We talked about that before. That's what everyone's talking about right now, rates. That is going to determine if we're going to have a pullback or not in this market. Rates.
Bob, you touched on it before, and I want to get back to it, and that's the broadening out of this rally. We've been talking about it. We've been analyzing it. We've been chewing it over with so many guests on our air. Today is one of those days where it is, again, Magnificent Seven and the tech names that are driving this rally. But we do have green on the screen for some of these other sectors and some of these other indexes, like the Russell 2000 as well, albeit maybe not the gains we see in the NASDAQ.
No, and there's small groups of stocks at GE, Waste Management, JP Morgan, Home Depot, American Express, Visa, that have been moving up regularly. So you're right, it's not just tech stocks, but I think we need to address and be a little bit more comfortable with the concentration risk. Everyone has been freaked out about the fact that 30% of the S&P 500 valuation is the Magnificent Seven. And if you throw in the top 10 stocks, add in Berkshire and Lilly and Broadcom, it's about 33%. That's historically on the high side, but it's happened many times, and people need to understand that. This is what you get when you have market cap weighted indexes. The winners get very heavily concentrated. This happened in the 1960s with the Nifty 50 stocks, IBM and Polaroid and Xerox. There was over 30% concentration at that time. It happened in the late 90s when we had the .com and the internet explosion. There was 30% or so. So it's happened before. Obviously, if you get some quick correction like we had in 2022, those stocks that moved up the most are going to get hit. But with these kinds of earnings that we're seeing driven by AI, these valuations arguably are certainly justifiable. And so I think people need to get a little more comfortable with this. Oh, we can't handle 30% of the S&P in just 10 stocks.
Crazy, absolutely crazy. And, you know, this is a bit of just it's a point in time for us as investors where we're going to look back on this and go, this was the beginning of the AI start. Just like the .com start, this is the AI start, and it's going to be driving a large portion of the market. It's very, very interesting. If you're not in AI stocks, you need to look at AI stocks. There's obviously ones that are driving right now, but there's a lot of new ones that are going to be starting up, and Palantir is still very cheap. That's another stock that I'm just driving money into right now as fast as I can. I'm just like... friends, I think I have talked enough. I wish everyone the best of luck out there. I think, you know, good or bad days, digital world, I've said this before, I think it's just going to continue to be a rogue stock. It survived this 2-day bloodbath in the market this week. Tomorrow in the market, I think the market's just kind of going to flatten out and not do anything too crazy. But then again, I'm probably terribly wrong because the market has not done what anybody thinks it's going to do. Even these guys that are doing this professionally on, you know, actual Wall Street. So who knows what's going to happen here? This is just, it's a wild time. It's a fun time. It's just, I love it. I love when the guys that are supposed to know, you know, what's going to happen are on national television. They're like, it's fun. It's fun. Friends, I wish you all the best of luck. I will talk to you soon. Let me know what you think about Digital World acquisition. March is coming up. This is the last week of February. What am I talking about? There's another week of February. One more week of February, and then we're going into March, and that's when I'm really curious. The closer we get to this deal actually being done, we could see some bigger volume and bigger numbers come up here. We could be in the 60s. Who knows? Friends, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.